We are here in the Wedding Life showroom with JP Reynolds, a non-denominational minister. And why don't we just start with the basics? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Good to be here, Amy. I originally was ordained a Catholic priest. I resigned about 10 years ago. I feel that I have to now assure people that there was no lawsuit, no scandal. And the weddings I do now are non-denominational, interfaith, cross-cultural. About 30% of the couples who come to me want no mention of God, and that's certainly fine with me, because I believe very strongly that the ceremony belongs to the couple, and it's not my wedding. And I really try to create a ceremony that reflects the couple and what they are about in their life.
I did read in your brochure the 5 things I know for certain about weddings.
Yes.
And you wrote that the ceremony is one of the most authentic moments in a bride and groom's life. Is there steps that you take to ensure that it is truly authentic pre-ceremony?
Right. First, I want to know who they are, how they met, how long they've been together, what they're about. Then after that, really the first question I ask them is, do you know what you do want in the ceremony? And do you know what you do not want in the ceremony? And in many respects, what is even more important is knowing what you do not want. Now, oftentimes couples come to me and they have no idea what they want or don't want.
Right.
And that then really sparks the conversation. I do not work from pre-printed ceremonies, so I don't say to the couple pick A, B, or C. I really try to get a feel for them, and I work certainly from a template. I think that a wedding ceremony is a wonderful ritual. It should have a certain flow to it. It should have a beginning, a middle, and end. So yeah.
Great. I also admire that you really do take a stance that the day is truly about the bride and groom and no one else.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Yes.
Is there a certain amount of meetings or something that you would suggest for a bride and groom prior to the wedding day?
You know, I make sure that the couple knows that I am willing to meet with them as many times as possible. I don't have a preset number of meetings. I don't require premarital counseling. I'm certainly available to provide counseling or coaching. After that initial meeting, we certainly need to meet at least one more time, if not 2, to really finalize the ceremony and fine-tune it.
Now, JP, is there one thing that really makes you unique? Or lots of things?
There are lots of things, but we are limited for time. I would say one of the really distinctive things that I bring is that I had the good fortune to live on an island in the South Pacific for 3 years. It was a little speck of land about 700 miles away from Guam. And then I had the opportunity to travel through Southeast Asia, made my way to India and Nepal. So I have a real sensitivity and awareness to cross-cultural issues. And living here in Southern California, so many of the couples that I meet oftentimes come from different cultures. It allows me then to create a ceremony that honors their traditions without being specifically one ritual or the other.
All right, the good stuff. The funniest thing that has ever happened to you during a wedding ceremony.
All right, well, my claim to fame is officiating a wedding where the mother of the bride literally tried to stop the wedding.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was a couple in their mid-30s. They had been together for probably 5 years. From my instincts told me that they were a real couple. And it was just prior to when I was going to pronounce them husband and wife. And the mother of the bride stood up. It was an outdoor wedding. She stood up and started walking towards me. Now, she happened to have been a widow. And I thought, oh, maybe she wants to welcome everybody. Or, as is sometimes the case, maybe she wanted to read a poem. I forgot about it, whatever. So I walk over towards her. And she says to me, quote, "Do not pronounce them husband and wife. I have reservations." And I thought, now, sweetheart, really? Do you think I'm going to hand over my microphone and turn this into a Jerry Springer moment? So, being from New York City, being from the Bronx, I'm able to think on my feet. And I smiled and said to her, "The only reservations you better have are for dinner."
Oh, no.
At which point I returned, pronounced the couple husband and wife. I have never pronounced a couple that quickly. I was very concerned for the bride, went up to her, and she looks at me and she says something that I don't think I will ever forget. She says, I guess I forgot to tell you about my mother. Everybody at the ceremony knew about Mama. Everybody knew that Mama was nuts. And everybody was there holding their breath except me. So actually now one of the first questions I ask a couple is everybody happy? Who's not happy? And where will they be seated? And it's because of that, actually, that I feel very, very strongly that the ceremony and the day belongs to the couple. I really encourage them and coach them to let no one take the day hostage and to not plan a wedding out of guilt or because of what I would call emotional blackmail. And my desire is to create a ceremony that serves as a touchstone for their life together. I know that 5 years from now, no one remembers what I said. But 5 years from now, people will look back and smile and either say, that was lovely, or say, where did you find him? In all the bad reasons. So,
well,
yes.
An amazing quality thinking on your feet like that, JP. Anything else that you're truly passionate about besides ceremonies for weddings?
Right. I am a motivational speaker.
Wonderful.
And as a result of my work as a motivational speaker, it allows me to, for the most part, memorize a ceremony. So I'm not glued to the book, and that allows me to have more intimacy with the couple and with their family and guests during the ceremony. But besides being a motivational speaker, I'm a communications coach and trainer. I work with business professionals, helping them develop their skills so as they can nurture successful relationships.
Great. All right, the single best advice you could hand out to a bride and groom. If there's just one thing.
Right. I always remind them that a wedding celebrates what already exists. So if you're not married the night before your wedding, I have no mojo that's poof, going to make you married. And I never quite understand when a couple would say to me, we can't wait until we start our life together. You know, my belief is your life together started the first moment you saw each other. I think a wedding gives thanks for what has been and is a pledge for the life that they will continue to create. And I think if a couple can remember that, it puts everything else in perspective.
Wonderful insight, JP.
So,
as you can tell, JP is dedicated to making your day unique. He understands that your day is sacred and it belongs to you and your spouse. For more information, you can check him out on his website at jprweddings.com. Email him at jp@jprweddings.com or give him a call at 818-985-7620.
you got it.
Thanks, JP.
All right, thank you, Amy.